My old roomie right there.
All right, we are live. What a treat this is. And listen, I apologize. Somehow on my Instagram and Facebook, I posted a fight between Larry Melnick and Chris Nye. I don't know how that got up there, but it did. Nux, how are you doing? Good to see you.
I'm good. Long time no see. What was it? Last week we were on with a bunch of
bunch of lawyers.
A bunch of lawyers from Toronto. It was fun.
It was very interesting. So Nux and I were on a panel where we discussed in front of about 200 lawyers the comparisons between lawyers and athletes and their pressures and drugs and alcohol and all that kind of stuff. It was very good. So,
well, you know what 1,000 lawyers on the bottom of the ocean is, right?
Good news.
Good start.
Good start.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Larry, you and I did not play with Nux. James and Ron did play with Nux here in New York. So
I know. It was he was my roomie for a while there, but he one time Van Beesbrook and what's his name stole his shoe. That was like really bad.
I heard this story.
Darren Turcotte.
I tried stopping them, Nux. I tried, but they wouldn't listen to me.
I'm going to tell you right now.
No respect.
Payback's a bitch. And I had John Van Beesbrook on my podcast about 2 weeks ago. And John's a real fucking serious cat, right? You can't – I tried to get him to loosen up a little, but, that was hard to do.
Yeah.
And we brought that up. I did anyway. And he insists that he never had anything to do with it. It was the guy who was sitting across the aisle from me. And as I recall, the guy sitting across the aisle from me was my roommate, Ron Greshna, and beside him was Lindy Ruff. So it was, I don't know who to believe.
So let's go over this. Hold on, Nux. So your shoe, let's go over the story. So your shoe got stolen on the plane, correct?
Yep.
And then, so you walked through the airport with one shoe on, and I heard you threw the other shoe away in protest, right?
Yeah.
He tried saying they were $400 shoes.
Yeah, Tommy, $400 shoes in 89, 90, around then.
So we're questioning whether they were $400 shoes or not, right?
Here's the deal. I never bought a fucking $400 pair of shoes in my life. I never would. So no, they were my favorite shoes, though. They were my favorite.
So these guys are misquoting you then. They said that you said there was a $400 pair of shoes.
Yeah, you know how things get distorted when guys are like having too much fun.
Okay. I think I remember that now, Nux. I fell asleep and I felt
full of shit.
So then, as payback, did you put fish? You put fish inside.
Here's what I did. I was with Mark Hardy, and we went to the fish store, grabbed some fish, and I talked to my fishmonger, the guy at the store, and I said, "Hey, you got some scraps, from all the stuff you cut off?" He said, "Yeah." So I got a bag of it. And the next day at practice, Beezer was out in the ice. I was hurt. Hoppo was hurt. And I went in his Volvo, and I took the back seat out, unscrewed it, took it out, and I ripped the bag open, and I put it back in, screwed it back in, boom. About 2 weeks later, he's with Hoppo in the car. They were coming back from somewhere. And he goes, he said, "Do you smell something funny in this car? I think Ross hit a skunk or something. It smells like a skunk in here." And Hoppo had all he could do to fucking keep from cracking up. He said, "I don't smell anything. That's weird. I don't smell anything." Anyway, so the bees can't find it. He took it he was driving around a month like that. It was getting hot. It was in the spring. And he brought it to the shop, and the guy went through the engine. He fucking went through every part of the car. The last thing he did was take out the back seat, and he found the bag of fish. So Bees wasn't happy. And then the other guy, Turcotte, geez, how times have changed. They lived in Greenwich, and I didn't know where they lived, but Hoppo did. So we went to we're at the pub all afternoon having a few, and I drive home. I run in my house. I get a big butcher knife. I come in. My wife's in the house. I come in. I grab a butcher knife and a 6-pack. And I run out. I get in the car with Hoppo. I said, "Come on, get me over there." So he takes me. It was right around, 8 o'clock at night. It was just kind of dark. And I see the lights. They must be in the living room watching TV, and the lights are flashing. So I get out, and I had a broken arm at the time. And I get out of the car with the butcher knife, and I go up, and Turk's car was right in front of the house, and I went, I jabbed both tires, right? And I come running back, and Harpo's in the front seat laughing his balls off. He's like, oh, my God. And I get in the car, and he goes, you only going to get 2? And I said, you know what? You're right. And I went back, and I did the other 2. And Turcock came in the next day. He was like, geez, someone fucking flashed my tires last night. I said, oh, that Greenwich, Connecticut. I said,
Bad neighborhood.
Tough part of town.
Bad neighborhood.
But I got them both.
Good job. So, Mel, hold on, Chris, just, we have a few things we have to do. We're obligated with Larry Melnick on the show to ask him a few questions, right? Mel, what are you wearing today?
First of all, Chris, hi. I met you in Calgary. We did an alumni skate first time, I remember. But
yeah.
The shoe, did you take your shoes off on the plane? How did you lose your shoe?
Well, we're in Buffalo, and I had just come back from an injury. And I went out with my roommate, Ron, and had a little too much to drink. And my feet were so fucking swollen on the plane, I had to take my shoes off. So I took them off. And I passed right out of the picture as soon as the plane took off. And I looked down. I walked through the airport barefoot. And I had steam coming out of my ears. And I walked out to the bus, and it was pouring rain, barefoot.
I tried finding that shoe too. They wouldn't help me.
You're so full of shit, Gresh.
Oh.
You're the shit disturber who started it, Gresh.
No, that was Lindy Ruff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Lindy Ruff.
Hey, Nux, I'm glad you found out the truth, Nux. See, I was worried you didn't know the truth.
It was all Lindy.
Mel, how you doing? Are you good? Okay?
Things are good. Yep. No,
what are you wearing today?
I thought it would be fitting to wear Frenchies today. So I got and Chris, you Montreal is probably one of the classiest cities, clothing mecca. I bought a lot of clothes in Montreal. So I'm wearing Joseph Aboud today. And
oh, nice. And it's funny, but Joseph Aboud's from Boston.
See?
Really? Wow. So Joseph Aboud, and Tom wears a black T-shirt from Costco. So I thought I'd wear a white T-shirt from Costco.
That's not a Costco T-shirt.
Yeah, and Versace, another.
That's
French
a Kirkland.
Yeah.
You've got Costco clothes on?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
$6.
Shut your phone off, Schnurr.
He wants to pretend that he's busy.
Yeah, let me pretend.
Hey, Nux.
Huh?
That story. I honestly, I feel like they got to make a movie of your life, because that is just that is just a little sample of your 15 years in the NHL.
Yeah.
Coming from South Boston. Everything that happened along the way.
Yeah, the NHL was the calm part of things.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Was game, the NHL compared to the beginning.
Yeah, but from a rough neighborhood, Southie?
Well, listen, I grew up in West Roxbury, but I had friends from South Boston and Charlestown. I have friends all over the city. So I played hockey and always played with different all-star teams, but
hold it.
All-star teams, Gresh.
Oh, okay.
Not like NHL ones, Gresh. So
no, I wanted to just check to make sure that the right words are coming out of that yap of yours right there. Because I was, typical stuff growing up in Boston. I grew up in I guess what you would say a really turbulent racial setting at the time. There was a lot of animosity between blacks and whites, and the busing problem come about in the 70s there, and it caused a lot of friction between the people. It's crazy. I was so naive when I came here, and growing up in that environment, and then coming here to Montreal, my first year, 79, 80, that was the first year of the referendum. They wanted to separate from Canada, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here I am, come up here from Boston, and honestly, I could not understand why all these white people couldn't get along. You know, I mean, so what? It's French and English, but they're all white. Why can't they get on? Honestly, that's how I thought. That's how naive I was, and that's how, I guess, not sheltered, but you know, I was just so everything was Boston. I grew up in that city. That was my whole life growing up, and I never really got out of there until I came here. Montreal might as well have been in fucking Vancouver. You know, I didn't know how far. I got on the plane. I would go to training camp first time. I was there in like 40 minutes. I'm like, what? I thought I was going to Canada. I thought it was far, you know? But, yeah. So, yeah, listen, a lot of shit happened growing up. You know, hung around the street corners. There was a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol, a lot of crazy shit going on. And I was right in the middle of it.
Did you have a car when you were 16, Nux?
No. I had someone else's car.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. But you had a car, but it wasn't yours.
Nux, did you get to win a Stanley Cup? Did you win a Stanley Cup? You won a Stanley Cup, did you?
1986. Yep. 86.
Do you have a Stanley Cup plaque on your car? Do you drive around with a Stanley Cup on your car?
Nope.
Do you know anybody that does?
Nope.
Well, we have a friend of ours on the show who won 2 cups, and he drives around with the cups on his car out in Vancouver. Actually on Coquitlam.
Could that be Lefty Herb?
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, that might have been. I've been doing this show for just over a year. That question that Tom just asked you about the Stanley Cup might have been the stupidest question I've ever heard. Holy like
why is that stupid? Why is that stupid?
Because we lost to those fucking clowns when we should have won.
You're trying to set the scene. It's called setting the scene, Larry.
Oh, okay.
Hey, but okay, Nux, I did want to finish. Like, so you played college at Northeastern?
Yeah.
And then you're drafted by Montreal. Like, I've heard stories, and like I have the feeling that you were the type of guy that nothing was going to stop you. Well, maybe it was being drafted, but I heard a story that even in an exhibition game in your rookie season, the other team was having a morning skate, and you went up into the one level up and started challenging, yelling at everyone on the other team, and you know, calling them out, and you know, asking guys to fight, like you know, in tonight's game. And but I also know that you found a way to get your nose in there, and then you became a pretty effective player, an agitator, you know, a guy who protected his teammates, a guy who could play. I'm impressed by it. Also, I mean, I've told the story to these guys on what an incredible teammate. I thought you were the biggest dick who never shut up and used to yap at me when we'd play you. Yeah. But then when you joined our team, was like as good a teammate as I ever played with. And then you know, Thomas Sansom. No, I'm telling the truth. I remember, and I've said it before. Thomas Sansom, Brian Leach. Then they didn't have to worry about getting run by guys on the other team. I was always impressed with where you came from and where you got to.
Well, I appreciate that. And yeah, I did work at it, but I didn't. That's all bullshit. I never went up in the stands and challenged guys. I said that.
No, you went right down to the ice.
Let me show you this, by the way. See that Ranger picture there? Can you see it? Kind of.
Yeah.
Yep.
You remember that one?
Yep.
And sure I have a team picture right there, too. So, yeah, pretty cool. Although that was a difficult time for me with all the injuries. But, James, yes. I remember you told me once, Knuckles, if you can skate, you can play in the NHL. And honestly, that's the biggest thing I worked on at the beginning is my skating. And then I got an opportunity to play under Jacques Lemaire, who I just had on my podcast yesterday. And he spent 2.5 hours with me. I couldn't shut him up. He was unbelievable. And he never does any of that. And honest to God, that guy helped me more than any person in the game. He worked with me every day, you know, when he was an assistant and when he was a head coach. So he really helped me with, you know, getting better handling the puck, foot movement, you know, working on, you know, picking up rebounds in front, top corner, backhand, forehand, all that shit. I just had a lot of help. And, you know, I was a willing participant.
Nux, what's the name of your podcast?
It's called Raw Knuckles podcast. It's coming out May 1st. I was thinking too hard on the name, and I'd come up with it. I was going to be Knuckles Unleashed, this and then like all these people have these fucking names already. And then we got, who's this other guy, this clown that fucking played in Philadelphia? Long curly hair. He just retired a couple years ago.
Oh,
Hartnell.
Yeah, Hartnell. He's got Knuckles podcast. Who the fuck is he to take the Knuckles name?
I beat the
Like,
shit out of
really?
him.
He had about fucking 4 fights in his career.
They were all clowns. They were all clowns that played in Philly.
Really? Yeah, they were. I'll agree.
So here's 2 really important questions. Bear with me. Forgive me for anything I say today, okay? So
Yeah.
Can we assume that when you're in the streets of Boston as a young guy, 15, 16, whatever, you're scrapping a lot in the streets?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so that just kind of moved into the hockey. And so you went to Northeastern. So Tommy went to Frankenmuth, Michigan. He took
I went to
skating.
Northern Michigan.
Yeah,
Michigan.
He took power skating and knitting. He was really good at knitting. But
Actually, I took beginning skating my senior year.
yeah, well, you're good at knitting. So did you
didn't
pass?
do
Because
that.
Tom didn't pass. Did you pass school?
I
Did
did.
Yeah.
I did until I was drafted in my second year. I was drafted in 78. And then I just I wanted to leave school that year, but I had to deal with my father who was ready to rip my head off because I wanted to leave school. So he frightened me into staying another year. And I stayed one more year, and I half-assed it in school and didn't do too well. I was taking criminal justice. I was going to be an attorney, kind of like Tom. Yeah, then I left school and I turned pro. And then, yeah, I never went back.
That was a good draft year, 78. You, me, Mel, all drafted in 78.
17th round.
Is that what you were?
Think about the money.
I was 231 out of 235.
Who were
Mel,
the
those are
four
great
guys
questions.
behind you?
Great questions, by the way, Mel.
Well, right place, right time, though, eh? Like Montreal.
That's all.
We played against you guys. You weren't you didn't have like Philly goons, right? You had McPhee, Cordick for a while when he was there. Who else?
Yeah.
Robinson, he wouldn't fight, but he had a presence, and
Yeah.
you had, and
They had big bodies, though. Ryan
That's
Walter was big.
yeah.
Rick Natras was big.
Was Bobby Smith there too?
Bobby Smith
He
was
was
big.
there, yep.
You guys had a big team.
Yeah, we did.
Bob Gainey was big.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, he's a.
We had big forwards. And actually big on D2. We had Ludwig, Rick Green, Larry.
Helios, obviously.
Shelly played big.
Yeah.
Shelly was a prick, nasty. And, certainly I know going into Boston and going into Philadelphia wasn't easy. Especially when Boston, it was Jonathan Secord, O'Reilly, fucking Wensink, fucking every fucking idiot in the book, right? I mean, come on. And then Philly, I remember going in Philly, they had, Chikrin, Cochner, Berube, Knockbauer, and
Cochran.
Dave Brown.
Cochran too.
When I was with the Rangers, Bergie, the prick, would stop me in Philadelphia. Okay, why don't you just fucking start shit? Why don't you put me out like the second shift or the third shift? He'd stop me, and they have 5 fucking idiots there. So instead of waiting for something to happen, I just fucking go after someone. Like, why wait for them to come to you? I'll just go grab one of them, and away we go. But I remember coming to the Rangers. I was still in shock when I got traded. I was, honestly, it almost broke me, and I've said this before. I never wanted to play for another team other than Montreal, and I mean that. But when I got traded to St. Louis, and I had a problem with the coach here, Jean Perron, Puddinghead, and Puddinghead one thing I always told myself, if a coach ever tells me to fight and makes that inference, I'm basically going to tell him where he can go. And Ojano did that, and I did, and I ended up paying for it. And I ended up getting traded to St. Louis. And Serge, who traded me, he called me and he said, "Listen, big boy, I'm trading you to St. Louis, and you have a problem with the coach." And I'm, fuck off, And I said, "Hey, I ain't going to St. Louis." He said, "Well, how come?" I said, "I don't want to go to St. Louis." He said, "They want you there really bad. Ron Caron wants you." And I don't want to go. I want to stay in the East. I want to go to Boston. He go, "I can't do that." And I had been to, playing in New York. And every time I was there, Joe Bacchino would always say, "Oh, Phil wants you to come here. Phil wants you. Phil wants." So I said, "Why don't you call Phil? I'll go to New York." And to Serge's credit, he did. And he called Phil and traded me to the Rangers. And I ended up there. That's how I ended up there.
And so, Nux, when you walk in the locker room the first time and Gresh is sitting there, like, how does he treat you? Does he even speak to you, or does he?
Gresh wasn't in the locker room when I was there because he was hurt.
Oh.
He was in the back room playing cards.
Oh.
But when I first went in, honest, it was just weird, because I only had one measuring stick, Montreal, right? The way they did things, and no disrespect to Don Maloney, but he was the captain at the time. And when I came in, God, I saw him before the game and he looked really nervous. And I'm saying, God, this guy looks fucking nervous as anything. How the fuck? No wonder why this team isn't winning any hockey games. No wonder why they're all fucked up. Their leader looks like a fucking, like he's just fucking touched the third rail in the fucking subway. He looked nervous to me. And I'm like, and listen, I like this guy. I liked him. Don't get me wrong, but he just, if that's the captain, I'm wondering why they're having problems winning hockey games. And you certainly needed toughness. I knew that, especially when we got into Philadelphia. Like they like to push everybody around. And I had a fucking horrendous time with injuries in New York. It was terrible.
I thought it was really good at the start, wasn't it? Like for that first half of the year, I thought, I remember we traded for you. Norm McIver came up. We went on a roll. We had a hell of a second half. We were one of the best, had one of the best records in the second half.
Yeah, we did.
Jersey got into the playoffs on the last day of the year. They tied us, but they won in the tiebreak.
I think it has to do with Banff.
Oh, Banff. I love Banff. Remember Gresh? Oh. Me and Gresh were in the bar in Banff.
No.
We were rooming. And we're playing dots.
It was a juice bar.
Yeah, juice bar, my ass. And we're playing dots. And, of course, Gresh is feeling his oats. And there's a couple of guys next to us playing dots. And they're serious. So we're having a few cocktails. And all of a sudden, Gresh starts throwing his dots at their board while they're playing. Oh, fuck. Well, they flip out. We're almost in a fight. And Marcel Dion and Johnny Ogrodnik was standing at the edge of the bar, the two of them. They had
they're sitting in their seats.
Yeah, they were having their scotches, the two of them. And talking about the stock market and everything, and trying to attract women toward them. And I said, Gresh, watch this. And I unscrewed the dot out of the bottom. And I said, hey, Marcel. And I went, and I fired the dot and it hit him right in the fucking chest. And his drink, the two of them. We never laughed so hard. Right, huh, Gresh?
The floor. They both ended up on the floor. They were trying to duck. Oh, God.
Oh, the little fat man.
Yeah.
Hey, Gresh, James, I know you got to go here in a few minutes. How's the team doing? You start playoffs tomorrow?
We start tomorrow. Good. We had real good last 2 months, so we just want to keep it rolling. And we're playing Prince Albert, and they're a real good team. So it's going to be
Where are you, James?
I'm coaching junior in the Western Hockey League team, the Winnipeg Ice.
Cool.
So I'm in Winnipeg, and playoff start.
Is Keener there? Is Keener there with you? Mike?
No,
Keener?
well, he's in Winnipeg, but he's not. He actually does player development for the Jets.
Okay.
And Nux, just so you know, when James wins Coach of the Year in the Canadian Hockey League, we'll all have to go to the award ceremony. Now that you're on the show, so
Hey, James, if you ever need help teaching these kids how to do the trap, give me a call.
You never know. Hey, you might be the best guy to come and talk to young kids.
I'd love to.
Talk to them straight.
I'd love to.
No, that might be next year. That might be a great thing for our team. So, hey, great seeing you, Nux. Great seeing all you guys.
See you, James.
Okay.
I was always wondering where the hell you are and what you were doing.
Tomorrow night.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. I'll be
James.
watching you guys the rest of the show.
James, good job sucking up the Nux there.
Okay, yeah, I heard from William. Okay. I'll critique you. You'll see some of my comments in the bottom.
Perfect.
Thank God he's gone.
No kidding. God, I thought he was going to want to have your baby or something like
Oh
that.
my God! You guys should get a room or something.
Yeah.
Why did he have to leave the games tomorrow?
Preparation. The rest of the coaches are all working, so he snuck away for half an hour or something.
Well, he's being modest because they're playing PA, and the PA was in 8th place, so should be not even close.
See, here's what Mel does, Chris. He says he never watches hockey, but he's like an encyclopedia. He knows what's going on exactly. Huh?
You can be a student. You can be a student of the game without watching the stupid game.
Okay, all right.
Larry, you look good. Where are you in Vancouver?
Yeah, Coquitlam, just a suburb about half an hour east of Vancouver. So
Cool. Yeah, I've been out there a few times fishing. I've been up to up the top of the
Campbell
Vancouver
River.
Island.
Campbell River.
Yeah, I've been to Campbell River, but then I was way up. What's the one up the
Nanaimo.
Yeah, way up the top of the island. Way up.
Nanaimo.
No.
Nanaimo south.
The very top of the island. From there, you can see Alaska. But I went up there fishing with Brian Burke. Brought me up there.
You can see Alaska from there. Yeah.
Awesome salmon fishing. Love salmon fishing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is very nice.
So, Mel, you golfing or what's going on?
I golfed yesterday. Today's rained, and I had to do the show because Chris was on. So
Knox, are you a golfer?
A little bit. I play. I got that little fade into the woods now and again, but I have fun. I like getting out there.
Good.
Yeah.
So the fans are asking questions. So what's the best fight you ever had in the National Hockey League?
Me?
Yeah.
I think probably one. We probably won with Jay Miller. We're pretty toe to toe. We had a really good bout. I think probably the worst I hurt someone was O'Reilly.
Oh.
I cut him open pretty bad in Boston. I kind of got even with him for something that happened to me in my first year when he fucking didn't shatter my nose, but yeah, he hit me pretty good. And then I kind of got him back. I cut him open for about 22 stitches above his eye. I opened up a previous cut.
Oh.
But yeah, probably that.
Now you buddies with Jay Miller and Terry O'Reilly now?
Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
Good.
Jay. Yep. Good friends with Jay. I fish with him quite a bit, and I see Taz when I'm home.
Cool.
Why do you have a Montreal jersey hanging there, not a Ranger one?
Well, because the Rangers are too fucking cheap to give me one. And then I only keep my Canadians jersey, and I don't think you can see the All-Star jersey over there.
Oh, the All-Star jersey. Oh.
Can you
that's
see
nice.
the All-Star jersey? Here, let me see. Can you see it?
No, I
What
can't see
year was that?
Yeah, let me help you with that. Yeah,
it.
yeah, I gotta close that. Close that, honey.
See, Tom, there are other people that display their stuff. You know what I mean, Tom?
No, I've never displayed any of it, and I'll tell you how it all got up right now. All right, there's the All-Star
Nice.
jersey.
Number
Fellas.
30. Larry
Okay.
Melnick and Chris Nyland both wear number 30.
Okay, fellas.
What year was that, Nux?
91. And the only reason why all my stuff is up, my dad just died in last December 1st. And I was back home visiting my mom and for the funeral and stuff. And my girlfriend Jamie was up in the attic, and all my stuff was in my parents' attic, and it was all in bags and just boxes and everything. And Jamie went through it all. And she said, "What's this all doing here? I never kept anything up." And she brought it all back here to Montreal to our home. And I turned around one day and she was in here starting to decorate and put all the stuff up in the office. So this is where I do my podcast from. Kind of decent, nice backdrop to do it from. And yeah, so it's cool. But my Ranger jersey is upstairs, Gresh, in the closet with these Bruins.
You were number 30 with the Rangers, too. You had number 30 with the Rangers?
Yeah, I got 30 with the Rangers. I had 30 with Team USA, although Tom Barrasso wanted it. I told him to take a fucking hike. And I went to Boston, and Jim Weemer had it. And did you play with Weems? Anybody here?
Yeah.
Hillbilly was hilarious, and what a nice guy. I got there, and he goes, "Nux, I'm going to give you number 30. I'm like, "No, you don't have to do that." No, he said, "I'm giving it to you. That's it. I don't want it. It means nothing to me. It belongs to you." So he gave me the jersey. So I wore it for a number I didn't want at the beginning. I ended up having it everywhere I went. Pretty cool.
Mel, you were the last guy to wear number 30 before Nux got it, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It's like you two guys are brothers. You're brothers, like.
Yeah, we're number brothers.
Yeah.
Chris, were you invited to the ceremony when they lifted our jersey to the stands? Like, did Tom invite you to?
So Henrik Lundqvist wore number 30 as well.
With the Rangers?
Yeah.
Fuck that. They don't invite me to shit down there. I haven't been invited to anything with the Rangers. I think one year Gresh had me come down for a golf tournament. Gresh called me.
Well, here's the thing with Larry. We get Larry invited to stuff, and then he doesn't show up. So you'd show up, right? If we got you invited, Chris, you'd show up?
I have one question for Nux.
What do you got, Schnurr?
Do you remember the first night you were in New York?
Yep.
When you came there?
Oh yeah, I remember you and Rocky took me out.
But you went to? Didn't you go to what? You went to a
Broadway show.
Yeah. How were you feeling at the show?
Very intoxicated. Rocky and Gresh took me out for lunch, and they said, "Let's do a shot of tequila," and Gresh kept ordering him. And he was getting water, and I was getting tequila.
Rocky was getting water.
Rocky was getting water, and we were getting tequila.
Yeah.
And I was not in a good way.
Me either. I got home. I was running into the walls. My ex-wife.
I had a tough time at the theater that night. My first Broadway show ever, and I was shit.
Why did you guys go to a Broadway show?
He did.
I did. They got me tickets to because my wife had come down, and they got me tickets, and I went out with these clowns. My wife comes into town. I'm shit-faced. She's knocking on the door. I'm passed out. I'm out like a light in the hotel room. Thanks, Gresh.
Listen to me. I had a lot of fun with you. We had a good time.
Where'd you take him, Gresh?
There was a little establishment across from where I lived on 3rd Avenue. And we went over there, and we had a shot, and then Nux didn't know, neither did I, but Rocky was kept ordering shots, but he told the bartender that he wanted ginger ale, and he gave me Nux tequila.
Oh.
So after a while, it was, and he kept going, another one, another one. And then all of a sudden, it was like, oh my God. I got home, I was running into the walls. My ex-wife was going, "Are you drunk?" Well, I shouldn't be. Might have had a couple too many. But.
So just so you know, too, Rocky is a local guy here that we met up at the pub in Rye, New York.
Yeah, Jack. And Rocky, he was a landscaper. Rocky here.
Yeah,
good guy, Rock.
Awesome guy.
He's a gossip. He's an old woman. He's a gossip monger.
Bye. Yep. Bye.
Bye, Mel.
Well, hi.
Doing some business, are you?
Yep. Question. What were you talking about?
Talking about Rocky. You probably met Rocky. Remember Rocky, the pudgy little landscaper that hung out at the pub in Rye?
Do not remember Rocky. No.
Yeah, okay.
No.
So, Chris, here's an important question. So this show we bring up various topics, and don't take this the wrong way, but do you believe in manscaping?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So when you,
I'm clean cut. I'm a clean cut guy, as you can see.
Back's all shaved off and everything. Back is shaved.
What you asking me if I shave my balls?
So he's going.
Well, you or somebody else shaves them. Whoever shaves them, we don't really care.
Now, did you get in 79, 80, your first year? Did you get initiated? Shave
No.
your head? They didn't do it to you?
No. And here's what happened. I sat in the plane in the back with Steve Shutt, and he said, you cockney fucking rookies, we're going to shave you. We're going to shave you. And I'm there, okay, you want to shave me? I said, take your chances. I said, you shave me. I said, you better keep your head up, Shutty. I said, you'll be coming home one night and you won't fucking know what hit you. He's, oh, yeah. I heard. I said, well, fucking take your chances. I said, in the meantime, if you want me to get your leather jacket back because what happened the year before in the playoffs, the Habs are playing the Bruins, and a couple of friends of mine broke into the Canadiens' locker room. They stole jerseys, equipment, and they stole Shutty's leather jacket, a couple leather jackets, but they had Shutty's, and they had his wallet with his credit card in it. I know the kid who had his credit card, and they were running around charging everything on Shutty's card. And I said, Shutty, listen, you want to shave me, but you'll never get that leather jacket back. What do you mean? What do you mean? I said, I know who got your leather jacket. And I know who got them jerseys. He said, no fucking way. I said, yeah, I do. And I said, how's this? Were there 2 tickets round trip from Boston to Houston charged on your credit card? And he went, how'd you know that? I said, well, because I know who fucking charged the tickets and I knew who went to Houston. So now he's like, I'm there, take your chance. Anyway, I never got shaved. I did, though, go to training camp that year. We played Philly in a preseason game, and we got down there that day. I went to the barber shop, and I had them shave my head. I shaved my own head, and I went in the warm-up and patrolled the red line, and that's all. The boys were happy after that.
They were probably, everybody was probably scared enough of that, huh?
Yeah.
Looking at that bald head. Look at Tommy's.
Mel, did you get shaved?
No, just in junior. Because when I got drafted by Boston, when Orr got there, they said no more.
Oh,
Yeah.
No more initiation. So, but junior was bad. Like New Westminster, it was bad.
It was awful.
Oh,
I never got involved
yeah.
in that shit. I hate it. I didn't want anybody to do it to me. I didn't do it to anybody else.
yeah.
Claude Lemieux, Richer, they all come in together. I never seen anybody get it so bad as Claude Lemieux. Fuck, it was, and I felt bad. And then Richer, they had him taped to a hockey stick in the back room, and they taped his wrist so bad. I heard him screaming in the back room, and I went in. His hands were purple. And I said, hey, enough's enough. I grabbed the scissors and cut him out. And he was really grateful, but I hated doing that to guys.
Yeah, it was stupid. That was the worst thing we ever did at this point.
Yeah,
It was dumb.
Did nothing. Yeah, didn't do anything for the team. Mel, so what's going on, Mel? Anything exciting? Like, how's your wife doing, Rochelle? Everything's good?
Everything's good. But inquiring minds. So, Tom, it was your birthday a few days ago. Was it on
Friday.
a Sunday by chance?
It was a Friday.
Friday. Okay. So, Chris, we've been inquiring as to Tom's, like, there's a special someone that comes over to Tom's house on a special day, which is Sunday.
No.
Yes.
You'll have pictures on Saturday.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So, on Sunday, Tom, did that special someone, and I'm just asking because people want to know, inquiring. So
Who wants to know? Like, name somebody that really wants to know.
well, like Deborah Mesringhausen, Hosen, Lulu, Casey Cannon.
They don't want to know.
So, now I think we've already got it. We've got it down to initials. I think we know who it is.
Really?
Yeah. So
What are the initials?
well, so how was your birthday and the Sunday? Was it
Birthday was fantastic. I've taught myself how to make sushi. So my sons came over. My one son is married, brought his wife over, and we made homemade sushi. It's great. Had some tequila.
yeah? And
Sunday was good. Just it was Easter Sunday, so I made an Easter meal.
does that special someone? Do your kids' family enjoy her or?
We don't get into personal stuff here, Larry. You know that.
Okay.
How's your wife doing? How's your wife doing? She got any clothes on?
So she's at the gym.
Oh, I hope she's got clothes on then.
Schnurr, you and Tommy are neighbors, aren't you?
Yeah.
You guys.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't.
We don't see each other. We live
So
about
is that
100
how
feet.
we're getting the pictures?
Listen, when I lived 20 minutes from here, I seen Tommy Moore.
Seriously, we live about 100 feet from each other. We never see each other. We see each other Thursday afternoon.
Yeah,
on
and
the
it's
show.
like, no, you respect people's privacy. You know, like I don't dwell on like Mel does, like who's parking in this spot and who's parking there. No, who's
See, Gresh, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. I really appreciate that. I respect you for that. You respect my privacy, whereas Larry's on the other side of the freaking continent there, and he's
well, yeah. Well, you know, things happen in life. I met a young lady a couple months ago, and then somehow she turned into like
psycho.
I thought she's gonna. It's insane.
You know what it is? She couldn't get enough of you. That's why she was upset.
I have to stay by myself for the next until I die. But anyway, speaking of that, I feel Mike Bossy really a sad thing.
Yeah, sure was up here. Certainly, Guy Lafleur is in the battle for his life right now too. Yeah, he's not doing too well. So, hasn't been a lot of positive stuff going on up here lately, to be honest with you. But
The hockey world, the NHL world in general, right? I mean, here,
Clark Gillies.
Roger Bear,
yeah,
John Potvin, Emile Francis. Yeah.
Tom McCarthy out of Minnesota.
yeah, that's right, huh? Yeah.
Who's that?
First round pick. I was with Brad Palmer in Victoria. We were golfing, and he played with Tommy McCarthy. I think he's a first round pick of Minnesota.
It was in the 80s, right?
Yeah. He passed away like a day before Bossy did.
Yeah, he's what a good player he was, that Tom McCarthy.
Yeah.
Could score goals, that kid.
He played in Boston for a while too.
Yeah. Larry, how long were you in Boston?
My first 3 years. So,
Yeah.
But I don't know what you think of the organization itself, but like I was drafted 78th overall, like 3 rounds ahead of Tom, right? And they sent me down. So they sent me down to frickin' Springfield. And,
I was in the NHL. Well, I was playing in the NHL, right?
Well, you were playing in the NHL, yeah. So
right.
I had, so I had about 200 some games in the American League, and these idiots that are running Springfield have me playing left wing.
Oh.
So that's when I started to just fight a little bit because I was so fucking pissed off. But anyway,
He's still pissed off too.
I'm still pissed off to this day. So here's a question for you, Chris. So let's say, like, the day of a game or the day before a game, you fly into Philly or whatever, and how do you know which that clown that you're going to fight that day or that game? Just the circumstances, or?
Yeah, it didn't matter with me. Like, I get on the ice, like, and I kind of see who's out there with me, and I go, okay. And I kind of, if we put the puck in the zone and Chikrin and Cochran are on defense, whoever the puck goes to first and I'm on, then I might just grab them and get going. But like every time I went in there, anytime I got put on the ice, they fucking throw 3 or 4 guys out. It's fucking crazy. Every time. Berube one game, then it would be Cochran, then it would be the Knockbauer was there, and just crazy. And I was by myself at the beginning. You know, they had McPhee, but he wasn't a real fighter. He'd stand in there and help, but I was kind of by myself, and I didn't mind it, honestly, because I didn't want the competition. You know, when quarter came, I'm like, you know, I was fine by myself, honestly. I didn't want to, have somebody riding shotgun with me. And there was enough. We had enough tough guys on the team, tough enough guys that would stand in and help if they had to, But I enjoyed it.
How about the pregame fight with Philadelphia?
Fucking crazy.
That was wild.
Crazy. That Quebec brawl was crazy. And then that was all over Claude Lemieux and Corson, the Philly one. And then Keenan dressed 26 guys in the warm-up.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Eddie Hosper was telling us that. Yeah, Eddie Hosper mentioned that. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And then I go out on the ice and I put my skates on real quick. I tied them up real quick and I went out and Lemieux's turtling. And then Big Shell Samuelson was there and Chico Resch. And then next thing I see out of the corner of my eye, here comes fucking Dave Brown with no jersey on. Oh, fuck. I was with him. I fought him off and on for I don't know. On the clock, it had to be easily 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Stopping, going, stopping. And it's funny, I did a thing down in Philadelphia maybe 2 years ago before the pandemic called Fight Night in Philly. And he was there. They invited myself. They invited O'Reilly. It was really cool. You get up and they showed the highlights of the fights and stuff and you talked about them. It was pretty fun. Dave Brown's a hell of a guy.
Yeah, I was just going to say he is. Surprisingly, yeah.
Sweetheart.
Yeah.
It was fun playing against him, though, because you knew that if he got the puck in the corner, they blew the whistle because it was chopped up. You knew he wasn't going very far with it, but he was a tough dude, though. He played the game tough.
Well, listen, when I first came in the league, I had a 5-game tryout. I got drafted. I came to camp in Montreal. I got sent to Nova Scotia. Bert Templeton was my coach. Bert was kind of a goon coach, right, in junior. He loved the tough teams, right, Tommy? I don't know.
Yeah. Hamilton, yep.
Yeah, and he didn't really like college kids, right? And Tim Burke was down there with me. He played at UNH. He's an assistant GM with San Jose. And Burke, he said, just get the end of line, don't screw up. This guy will flip out on you, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I had a 5-game tryout for $200 a game. I didn't play the first 3 games. And the first game they played me was in Maine. And it was Philly's farm team. Bob McCammon was the coach.
Yeah.
And big, what's his name?
Cochran.
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 Yeah. So I go out, I hit him. Fuck, he chops me. I turn around, I chop him, and then we drop the glove. And we start going. I cut him, and I cut him pretty good. I had a contract. Well, the GM called me the next day, Templeton. He said, hey, come down my room. I got to talk to him. Okay. I went down. He said, you have an agent? I said, no, I don't have an agent. He said, well, you better find one. Montreal wants to sign you a contract. One fight. And they want to sign me a contract. It was unbelievable.
How much they sign you for?
In Nova Scotia, 17.5 with a $3,500 signing bonus,
right,
and 60,000 in the big leagues.
You could have paid for those tires you slashed.
Yeah, really.
Bought some new shoes too.
Crazy. 60 large Canadian.
Yeah.
NHL dollars.
Did you know that Larry Melnick once threw a hockey skate at Bob McCammon's head in Vancouver?
I don't blame you. Fucking guy was the biggest shit disturber.
Yeah.
Didn't he coach in Philly too, that guy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Used to beat them every year in the playoffs.
So Chris, you're about what, 6? You're 6 feet. You're my size, 6 feet. What you weigh in?
I'm just under 6 feet, and I played at 202.
So you're about 8 pounds heavier than me. But so the fight that Tommy showed you and I in '86, you can see that you know how to grab on. You knew how to turn your head away. So you didn't get hit in the head too many times, right?
No. I got cut a couple times on the eye, and I got dinged a few. I never broke my nose. O'Reilly hit me the worst with a left, and that was my first. I fought Jonathan, and then I fought him right afterwards when I come out of the box. and he hit me with a fucking left that I'm telling you, my blood just poured out of my head. But my nose is like rubber. There's no bone there. So you couldn't break it. You could hit it with a hammer right now and couldn't break it. But yeah, I remember after that fight, that was a turning point for me, because when I got in the penalty box, obviously I was a wounded little boy. You know, I couldn't believe that happened. I'm like, how the fuck did I let that happen? And I just went toe to toe with him. And I said, if I do that moving forward, fighting guys so much bigger than me, I said, I'm going to be in trouble. I got to fight smart. So I started to take a guy, find a guy's strength. If they were righty, lefty, try and take it away, and then pick my way through the fight. I had good stamina, so I could last. And I was a real good second half fighter. And then I started throwing uppercuts, and, shit worked. I didn't beat everybody up all the time. No, I won a lot of fights and kind of even a lot of them. I never really got my ass kicked. And that's kind of good for your teammates, because when you get your ass kicked and they see your tough guy get his ass fucking kicked, it's a blow to the boys, right? You know that.
Yeah.
So I hung in there.
Nux, I only bring this up because when you and I did that show, you were very open talking about your struggles with addiction.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know, Chris is you've been sober for how long now?
Well, yeah, I should be sober for 12 years, but I'm going on my 7th. I had a little slip up at the night my mom had a stroke, and I didn't deal with it well. But yeah, I'll be sober 7 years by the grace of God in December 7th of this year.
How old are you now, Nux?
I'm 64.
So
Good
you guys
age.
are all the same age,
Good
right? Nice.
And I'm 210 pounds of white dynamite, Crash.
I can see that by the hair.
And you know what was interesting? It was interesting when we were talking to in that show, talking about how you had to reach rock bottom before you finally got help, right? Before you were finally. And that was one of the common themes that we were talking about, that especially with men, not just men, but with men, like a lot of times guys will go in, and not just with alcohol or drug problems and other issues, mental health issues, guys go for a long time before they reach out and get help.
Yeah, listen, it's not an easy thing to do, to ask for help, especially, guys who played the game, obviously, guys who, like myself, that was always there to help teammates, and, the way I grew up and stuff like that. But, it's not like you can show your emotions and stuff. And it was really hard for me to ask for help, but hitting rock bottom was rock bottom for me. I was so addicted to the painkillers. It was, I just such a bad way. And I eventually ended up on heroin. And then, man, that shit brought me down so fast and brought me to my knees. And I was desperate. I had the gift of desperation. And, it's easy to give the NHL shit. And, they certainly, a lot of stuff I don't like about the league and some of the things they do. But I'll be honest, when it came time for me to get help and need help, they helped me in a big way. They were right there. And for that, I'm certainly grateful for that. But I had an opportunity to turn my life around.
That's good. I like to hear that, Nux.
Yeah.
Like to hear that.
Awesome.
Did you reach out to the NHL or the NHL alumni to get help? Is that what you call?
Yeah. Well, someone, a teammate of mine, Bob Gainey, had given me a card for the Players Assistant Program once.
Yeah.
And this is when I was in the middle of my my addiction. And he's saying, Knuckles, I know this guy at the NHL. Maybe he can help you, because I was unemployed at the time. And I'm thinking, maybe, he can help me get a job. Meanwhile, he's going to fucking help me get into rehab is what he's going to do. But I remember my last day when I was so messed up and I was beaten down. I was on the fucking floor of a bathroom in a hotel room, fucking in a ball, fucking all by myself, beaten down, in tears. And I picked up that phone and I called Dan Cronin. He works with the league, and he had me on a plane the next day. And I got on the road to recovery. So the best thing I ever could have done for myself.
I know Dan.
And my family.
Those guys are good guys there. That Dan Cronin's a good man. I know him.
Awesome guy. Yeah. Awesome guy.
Yeah, I tell you, they're good. Just when you remember Sheldon Kennedy, he came out with his the abuse issues, and I was his agent at the time, and I knew nothing about that subject whatsoever. And those guys were fantastic. I called them, and they took over. They're good. Very good.
That's a good story ending. Not that's a good way. I like that. It's really pretty proud of you, my friend.
Yeah,
it's not an easy thing to do. It's a tough thing to stand up and admit what you've done and to admit you need change, you need help, all that stuff. And you'd be a good role model for a lot of people now.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is, you got to get honest with yourself. I was lying to myself. I was sucking everything up. Just suck it up, move on. Who cares? Just wasn't living a good life. And when I got honest with myself and took a good look at myself, and decided to do something about it and make changes I had to make. Some of those shortcomings and character defects that I'll say some of the character defects at a time were character assets for me.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And then they weren't anymore. And, I had to address all those. So, I did.
Nuts, you got children?
Yeah, he's got
children.
Me? I have 3 children and 5 grandchildren back home in Boston. Yeah.
How's your relationship with them now?
Great. Hey, my daughter lives in South Boston. My son down south of the city in Plymouth, and the other one is in Quincy. But I have a great relationship with my kids today.
We're continually trying to work with Larry on his stuff too. He was once told by a girl in school that he would never play in the National Hockey League. He'd just be driving a Zamboni.
He proved her wrong.
Yeah. And he drives his hair.
He drives a Zamboni in between periods now. So.
So, Chris, another really important question. Since you lived in Boston, by the ocean. So, have you had cake by the ocean?
Have I had what?
Cake
by the ocean. Yeah.
No,
you haven't. Okay.
That's Larry's way of asking if you had sex on the beach.
Oh. Only in Hawaii.
Nice. Good.
Yeah.
Well, Larry,
my girlfriend is from the Big Island of Hawaii, and
really?
I could actually be living in Hawaii right now, and I'm living in fucking Montreal. What's wrong with that picture?
Why are you living in Montreal? Is it because your podcast and work?
Well, I was doing. I worked for TSN for 10 years.
Oh, that's right.
I have my own radio show here from noon to 3 every day. I did stuff between the periods for the first 5 years, and then I just stuck to doing my radio show. And then I got fired February 1st because I am unvaccinated for health reasons.
You look vaccinated to me, though.
I'm not, and I never fucking will get vaccinated. Believe me.
Hey, listen to me. I think all that stuff with vaccination, everybody has their own choice. And that's how we should live our life.
Fucking right.
I had triple bypass surgery last summer. I did it. I had it done. I had the vax, and that's my opinion. That's how I did it.
Yeah.
But I think everybody's arguing about masks on, masks off. I don't wear a mask. I don't.
Wow.
Well, you have.
You got to wear a sheet with that schnurr.
It's like the other day I took my dog out for a walk and I put a mask on him because people were complaining.
Oh God! You wore a mask. I've been with you when you're wearing a mask.
You have?
Yeah, golf tournament.
What?
Golf tournament we were at a year ago or whatever.
Where was that at, Tom?
Remember over in Nyack or whatever it was? Remember?
Oh, that was we had to wear a mask because it was a college thing or something, right?
Hey, Schnurr, I didn't know you had that triple bypass. I hope you're feeling better, pal. I didn't know anything about that.
I had it last year in beginning of June 28th. I feel great.
God bless you. I hope you're doing better.
I haven't felt this good in 20 years.
It's,
Great stuff.
it's pretty bad sign.
I don't really feel that good today because I had to pay for my daughter's college today. So, and I won't feel very good on Tuesday either because I got to pay for my other son's college. So,
Cha-ching.
yeah, cha-ching. She goes to Syracuse. Talk about spending $80,000. I hope she's learning. But anyway, that's the price. That's the price of having kids if you want to have them.
Nux, so you're pretty good cook. You cook at all?
Yeah, I love to cook. I cook every day.
Do you have a juicer? Do you have a juicer?
No juicer.
Oh, I've got a juicer.
Way to go, Nux.
Gress was saying he was going to get one for last year, but he's
I got a blender. I blend. I don't juice. I blend. But I went to Costco yesterday and I got these peppers with stuff with meat and everything else.
called stuffed peppers.
Oh my God! I'm going back today to buy a whole pile of them.
Schnurr, I'll make you stuffed peppers. That shit's filled with sodium. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Nux. Thank you.
They're real cool. They're Costco, man.
Yeah, they're cheap.
The goat of all stores.
Where they made? Fucking, they're made in China. Fuck. There's probably dog and cat in them.
And too much sodium, right? They put too much salt in
I
it.
was eating like that today. I thought there was something wrong with that meat. You know? When I went to the bathroom, I lifted my leg. I said, "Was you okay?" I go, "I think so." I don't.
Oh,
God.
Schnurr.
No.
Mel, how's your cooking going? You're getting better and better in your healthy food, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I don't have a juice. You know what? You got, I don't know how many little pantries or whatever. So my bar area where I have the vodka and the because I have some PBRs and I like to have a couple of cocktails. Well, stuffed in the back is, I don't know if there's a juice or a bullet or whatever. I don't know.
Oh.
So Rochelle looks after that stuff. But yeah, I'm trying to eat a little healthier.
Yeah.
Trying.
So you think those stuffed peppers come from China? Huh?
Well,
Everything else in Costco does.
They put way too much salt in there. You can make those yourself, Gresh.
Yeah.
Well, too bad. I had 2 of them for lunch, and I'm still alive.
So they're not too hard. They're not too hard to make, really.
No, they're not. I'm going to make them now.
Okay.
I saw how you make them.
Get Cubanelle peppers.
Eating there. It's like
Cubanelle.
What?
Use Cubanelle peppers.
Okay. Let me write that down.
I'll send you a recipe. It's idiot proof. You could do it.
Well, no, that I can't do it. I need more than that. Listen, I roomed with Nux for a while. I roomed with Tommy, roomed with Nux. Mel, I wish I had a room with you because you probably would have been the best of all 3, but
Hey.
How about when Gresh went to the bathroom, the worst smell on the planet, too. It's like you're on a farm.
How would you guys know you were never in the room?
Well, it was early in the morning.
Yeah.
Hey, we went out in Banff one night, night, and we come back and open the skylight in the window. We had fucking like a foot of snow in our room in the morning. We both slept through it.
I woke up and I looked down and from my chest down, it's piled up with snow. I thought Nux put it on there, right? I'm going like that motherfucker. He fucking snowed me. Like,
see, you know what, Nux, I'm glad we're telling these stories because I thought it was me years ago. So Gresh and I were out in Vancouver something one time. We went out all night drinking. We flew down to San Diego, Super Bowl Sunday. We ordered a bunch of beers and shrimps and everything like that. We passed out, didn't wake up until they were handing out the Super Bowl dance. So I thought it was me having the drinking problem. Maybe the common denominator here is Greshner.
I think it's Schnurr.
I don't want to take it. I'll take all the heat for you guys. You guys didn't drink at all when I was with you.
He's a bad influence.
Totally. That's where it all started, Nux.
Yeah,
Sure.
I know. It was really hard to twist you guys' arms.
Come on.
That's why you guys do it all the time.
Gresh, what did I just say? You gotta get honest with yourself.
I have no problem saying that I had a few cocktails here and there, or there and here, whatever it was.
Here and there.
Listen, man, I only drank on days that started with tea.
How's Ronnie Poofal?
He's good.
Tell him I said hello.
Days that started with tea. Today, tomorrow, Tuesday, Thursday. So, but no, Poofal's good. He's retired, semi-retired now. He was really good friends with Rod Joubert.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Got really good friends. They're born the same date, not the same year, but the same date.
Mel, did you do any homework, Mel? You got anything new, any like news flashes or anything like that? Or?
I don't want to bore Chris with, arbitrary shit.
Don't start sucking up to Chris like James did. Yeah.
Okay. So Chris, I golf. I'm going to try and golf 200 times this year. So I'm at the golf course the other day, and there's 4 cement blocks around in the parking lot around a power box. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Cuts his head 4 times.
So
4 flyers there. Okay, go ahead.
This is a bone of contention with me. So we're in the parking lot. It's after the round. I'm throwing my clubs in the back, having a PBR with my golf buddy. Yeah, I know, starting to snore. And I see this idiot, and I won't tell you the gender, but he backs into these 4 blocks because he's trying to back into a frickin' parking spot at the golf course. Now, what idiot? First of all, the idiot has a black car. Who buys a black car? I have no idea.
I got a black car, Chris. I've got a black car, just so you know.
And who tells or who teaches these idiots to back into a parking spot?
I back in all the time, religiously. So, and I don't hit anything.
So you can pull out real quick.
Yeah, we're ready to go. That's right. You're ready to go. Yeah.
Makes no sense to me.
If a disaster ever happens, Mel's trying to back his car out there. In the meantime, I'm gone. I'm safe.
The moral of the story, this idiot put a huge dent in the back of his black brand new Honda. And we just started laughing. He had to drive right by us. And we said, hey, good job, buddy. So he drove.
Who drives a fucking Honda?
Exactly.
No,
there you go. And it was
Subaru.
black.
It's like a Subaru, too. Well, Nux, it was great to see you. It was really, I know it was a couple weeks ago around that show together. It was great to meet you in person. We never really met until that show. And Gresha said all his bad things about you, none of which were true.
You still haven't met him in person.
Well, virtually.
Well, when you guys invite me down to New York for one of them events, I'll be there.
All right, good.
I'd love to
come down. Since Montreal is going to be playing a lot of playoff games this year, and won't be much to do up there. You can probably come. Yeah. Maybe we'll see if we can get you to come down for one game down here or 2.
Hey, you know what? Hang on 1 second. 1 second.
Larry, how are you doing planning your trip to
going to get a Stanley Cup? Like, okay.
Yeah, I know. He's getting the rings probably.
Yeah. Maybe the 230s come in together.
Well, that would be nice. That's good thinking.
You guys know what day yesterday was?
The 19th or 20th? Or
420.
420.
Oh, 420. That's so. Where did that all get started? The pot smoking. Well, they started smoking pot at 4:20 in the afternoon.
Yeah, Larry, you know about these things, don't you, Larry?
Yes, I do.
Right.
So my neighbor Steve Smith works for Sinorama. He put 2 miniature cups on the back of my cars, right on one each side of the license plate. So
back of his Honda.
Well, see Honda. This one here. We can fucking thank Steve Smith for this one.
That's right. The other Steve Smith, yeah.
Oh, that's Steve Smith.
Right?
Yeah.
He's the one who scored the goal on Grand Fjord.
That's right.
So we played Calgary instead of Edmonton.
So he's the guy that took my job in '86. I went to New York and had to put up with Tommy.
Oh, that bastard, huh?
See, the truth does come out.
Yeah.
My name wasn't mentioned there. Thanks, Mel.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Right, so, Nux, when your podcast one more time, what's the name of it?
It's called Raw Knuckles Podcast, coming out on May 1st. Going to be on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, everywhere. So, yeah, I'm doing it with Tim Stapleton. Timmy played a little bit in Winnipeg, Toronto, played mostly in Russia.
His father was Whitey Stapleton, right?
No. Oh. Yeah, no relation.
Oh, it was Gene Stapleton from All in the Family.
No relation.
Okay. Right. Nux, great to see you. We'll have you back on again, all right?
I'd love to, boys. Hey, good to see you, Larry.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Lefty
too.
Larry. I was at the fucking end of that punch one night. He shocked me. Hit me with a stun gun.
All right. See you guys. See you next week.
Take care.
Right. Take care, Gresh. I'll give you a buzz.